Hey everyone, it's Daryl as a service for Modern Work Mentor. I want to take you through some tips around using Microsoft Loop to outline a process or document a process. Now this is kind of all themed in my note-centric way of working. I'm the sort of person that takes notes as I work, so I do like to have a note-taking app available and ready to use. I'm going to document the process of adding a Loop workspace to a Teams channel. This is something that's relatively new at the time of recording this, and I want to be able to record it for my team so they know how to do this. Now I've got my Loop workspace, and I like to keep my documentation or processes together in a page and subpage relationship, so that we can see all the processes are all kept together using a subpage. So I've just created a new subpage, given it a title, chosen a emoji to help it stand out, and I've put a brief description here on the page about what this is. Now we'll come back and fill this out later. This is just a draft, but the idea is just to get something in there. Now in terms of the steps, let's give that a title as well. So I like to use styles for my headings so that things, again, they stand out and you can see them on the page. And we're going to start by using a numbered list. There's two ways that you can do a numbered list in Loop. Before I go any further, let's just collapse that out of the way so that we can focus in on the content. We could, first of all, right-click, headings and lists, and then choose numbered list. You can also use the / and numbered and choose that. One of the things that I've found that's pretty true across most Microsoft apps is that it also understands that when I use a 1 and then a period and then a space, that it automatically formats it to a numbered list. So what is our first step? Well, the first step is to locate our team and the channel that we want to add the Loop workspace to, and we're going to add a tab. But what I want to do first of all is thinking of it almost like I'm a director of a small quick movie or clip video that I want to show a wide scene, a wide angle of what's going on. And so I want to grab a screenshot of this. So we'll grab that now. And on your machine, maybe you're using Windows, you could be using the inbuilt snipping tool. And I'm going to use the inbuilt Mac snipping tool as well. So that's for screenshot. And this is going to capture this whole window. And then we'll go back to our Loop for the process. So first of all, locate the team and channel to create the Loop workspace. And then it is add new tab and choose Loop. Now I do like to bold up certain actions in instructions like this, just so that it's easy to follow. And that first screen clip that we've captured, it's in my clipboard. I'm going to pop it in under here. Now, if I hit enter, that's going to create a new step. It's not a new step that I'm creating here. If I tabbed it, then I'm starting to create a new list underneath it that is ordered. But one thing that you could do, let's see how this works, is I've got into the habit of using Shift and Enter. It's not working now. Oh, very good. Things are always changing in Loop. I've deleted that number there so that I can just pop this screenshot below the step. And I still, let's see, yes, it's still respecting that is a continued list. Step 1 and step 2. Hurrah, working this time. All right, so we've got our screenshot and it is showing that wide view of here's the team, here's the channel. What is our next step? Do we need to capture screenshots of everything? Let's just go back here and take a look at the next step. Well, the next step is we add a tab. Do we need to capture this and then the next bit and the next bit? Maybe not. So recording a process, and this is just over and above doing it within Loop, but don't feel like you need to capture every single little step. but by having certain keys and clues to what the next thing is, you don't need to picture that. So I might just type in loop here, and then what I'm trying to show with this screenshot is that I've used the search feature to come up with loop, and then we'll grab another screenshot here. Now I might just change to show the mouse pointer at this point. It's good sometimes to be able to do that so that you can use that as a natural indicator of the thing that you want people to click or do. Some screenshot software lets you choose whether you want it or not, and I have changed between the two occasionally. So let's do that and capture it, and let's see if that has actually come through. All right. Just sometimes I'll add a additional line in there as a placeholder because I want to keep the numbering going. I'm just not quite trusting of the automatic numbering there. It looks like it hasn't really brought through that cursor. Anyway, you get the idea, and we'll come back to it. I'll figure it out. I usually use Snagit. I don't use the inbuilt Mac tool, but this is not a video about Snagit. We've got loop. Okay, it's our step here. The other thing that we can do is we step our way through it, is choose loop, and we're going through these steps. We might actually let people know that yes, as you're adding a tab, that one of the typical things you can do is choose to post a message about the tab in the channel. So that message in the channel is going to give people some context around what we're creating, but again, those are options here. Let's click on save. So again, as I'm going through and documenting the step before I actually do it, I want to leave it on screen so it's there for me to reference as I'm figuring out what I want to say. So choose loop. We've got an option here to optional. Choose to post about the tab as you create it. Post about the tab in the channel as you create it. And I would document here normally. It's a good idea to give people context of why you've created the tab. So we'll do that, and then click save. And choose save. Okay. Next up, let's see what happens here. We've got our loop workspace, and this might be where I start to show you another tool that we can use within Loop for documenting the steps in the process. Now I could go through and continue to create screenshots here, but one really cool thing we can do in a loop is grab a clip. This means that we can record our screen, or we can record me talking to camera. So I want to try and grab a clip of these next few things so that I can use that in my documentation. So let's go back over to our loop. And at this point here, we will, this is give the new workspace a name, put a / here, and choose record. Okay, so there's record video. Now, watch what happens here. We'll get an option to record our screen. Now, this is using the Clipchamp service that it is part of Microsoft 365. It used to be called Stream. And it is using a web browser software to record the screen, record the camera, the mic, etc. So we are going to need to use the mic as part of this. We'll make sure that we've got the correct mic chosen, so we'll choose that one, and we're going to choose the screen that we can record. It's all very fancy for being able to do screen capturing or recording directly from Loop, But as part of the web services and collection of services, this is something we can do in Microsoft 365. Now, I'm choosing to do the entire screen. You do have options here to choose just a Edge tab or the window. The reason that it's given me this Edge tab as an option is I'm using Loop as a progressive web app. I've installed the Loop app as an app on my machine via the Edge browser. So effectively it's running out of Edge, but it looks like it's its own app. Let's go to entire screen and we will share. Oh, we'll choose the screen to start with. That often catches me out. And then click share and it'll do a little countdown. Right. So the first thing that I do too is I also hide this little toolbar there to say that the screen is running. Now I've got 5 minutes. I can record a clip up to 5 minutes and I will be able to trim it later. We're getting the recording of the screen in concentric little mirror ways because we are looking at the same screen that we're recording. But let's go over to our workspace here. Create a workspace and we'll say courses, or we'll call it course planning. And the good thing about these workspaces as we create them in channels is that they're available to the whole team. So that's where it will be. If I had sensitivity labels, I could use that. I've got an option here to add content. So if there were files there, which it has found a few that it might be related to, we could tick a few boxes there, course plan for example. We'll leave all that. So it's picking up on the keyword course and then searching across the content there that I might want to use. So that's one thing that we will, actually I might just leave that unticked and we'll add them manually. Let's create that. So this creates the new Loop workspace and is being attached or connected to the channel here in the team. So there is our step. Now remember, I've been recording this. So if I go back now to our recording here and click stop, then it has done that screen recording that has picked up on the audio, and at this point what I might want to do is just go on ahead with this, see where I've started to talk about the steps. And I'm going to use the trim. So that was about there. So I pause, then we'll drag these handles in. Kind of works. Here, about there. And about there. Yep. So we've trimmed it, confirm the trim. And we of course have an option to record more and continue to add things to this clip, but I'm going to continue on from here. And so that is pulling my video together using Clipchamp in the background. It uploads it and makes it available here within the documentation. So this is cool. I can play through that and I can see the steps as they appear as part of that. So yeah, don't have many note-taking tools that allow me to do this, but it is certainly a convenient way that I can grab a screen record and communicate a whole lot more about this process as a way of doing that. The final thing that I want to show you as part of these steps is that I might want to include some related links or references to this. So as part of including that in my page, let's use a / again, H2. And then if it's a document that I can remember using recently, or if I use a / here and begin to type, it was Loop Workspaces, there it is, Files. So the great thing about that is it gives you this nice little thumbnail that summarizes a bit about the document, when it was last edited, who worked on it, the pathway to it, and even a screenshot of what was in the document, so I can recognize it visually. So, you know, I could go through this whole thing, build out the full process, but I think you get the idea. And just to show you some of the things that are possible, that here we have our titles, description, our steps, our screenshot. We've got other things that we might want to add, like our video. I'm talking about adding these steps as well, that, you know, if there was something else that you wanted to add as a point, or things that you want to include as part of this step 4, when I create that new line and I indent it, then it starts to create these additional steps. So in that process there was, well, let's just play it through. While it's playing, let's also make some notes. Let's say it was name the workspace. So we've done that. Give the workspace a name. We click create, and then what happens next? Select content to add to workspace if required. Otherwise, add links manually later. And I guess what I would finish off with here is step 5. Is it going to let me do it? Okay. So something else that I can do here is, step 5 is drag this video up into that position there. And I do think it's important to use a note-taking tool that allows you to reorder some of your thoughts, so that, you know, when you are working out this process and documenting it, you can drag it up and down. But we've got to the end of that process. The workspace is created in your channel. Done. References, very good. And that is now a process that is part of, if we open up our workspace here, processes in a workspace that you might use for your team. I think that's a really good use for a workspace too, is that if you are doing things within a project, or you're trying to outline certain initiatives and things as part of your team, that you do have an area here for processes, so that as you work things out, or maybe you want people to do certain things in a certain way, you can document it and then they can follow it from here. And what we've seen today is some options for doing that we can document the process and include screenshots. Definitely use some simple formatting, and what I like here too are things like recording video clips and also including references. So that's a way of using note-taking as a tool for documenting processes, and today we used Microsoft Loop in a workspace. And if you're keen to see more of the kind of productivity tips that will help you be personally productive, then that is definitely my focus, to help you along that journey. And we're working on some things here in terms of courses and content as a way of doing that. So thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think, and maybe you've got some other tips that you want to share too around documenting processes, or maybe even using Microsoft Loop. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.